Happy new month, traders, and welcome back to this week's analysis. We are going to be kicking things off with fundamentals. One glance at the fundamentals we have lined up for next week. You can observe that we have lots of red folder news events next week, from Monday all the way through to Friday. But the biggest news for the week is going to be taking place on Friday, which is the non-farm payroll. So guys, I would advise you keep an eye on fundamentals next week, as this is going to cause loads of volatility in the market. So now that we are aware of what we should be expecting fundamentally, let's go to technical, starting with the DXY. You would agree with me that since January 2023, price has been moving sideways. This is the monthly time frame. Each candlesticks on this particular time frame represents 1 month of price action, right? And you can obviously see that price has been ranging on the monthly time frame. If I go to the weekly time frame, the same thing, right? This is January 2023 and this is March 2024. You see price has been moving sideways. If we go to the daily time frame, the same thing, right? You can see we have been in a range for over 1 year now. Even if we go to the 4-hour time frame, this pink zone I have boxed in here is 1 year worth of price action on the US dollar. So you see there's no significant move up or down. So swing traders, I'm sorry, except maybe you trade maybe just 2 days, 3 days, 1 week, or probably 2 weeks, right? But if you're looking to hold for months and months, like what swing trading should be, you must have been finding it difficult, right? It would have been a mixture of emotions. I can imagine that. All right. So for now, we are going to be looking at price action, thinking in probabilities as always. First of all, I want to see how we closed for last week. So we've seen 2 weeks consecutive bearish price action on the US dollar. So, but if we look at the monthly time frame, price is actually bullish, right? We've seen 2 consecutive months, the month of January, the month of February. Now this is the month of March on this particular monthly time frame. So ideally price should fly higher, because overall we are in a bullish trend. Price just created a higher low. We're expecting for price to push higher at some point, but in the meantime we need to think in probability. So I'll go all the way down to the 4-hour time frame and echo what I said last week. So my analysis from last week on DXY remains the same, right? Last week price was trading inside this zone, around this zone on Friday last week, right? And price opened and we basically traded the whole week within that range. Okay, yeah, price, I was like, if price breaks and closes above here, I'll be waiting for a retest to now buy, right? So when I actually spotted this break and this retest and this engulfing candle, I went to the 15 minutes time frame on Euro USD and I placed a trade. Luckily for me, price hit my take profit before giving this solid rejection. I'll show you that trade when we go to Euro USD. All right, but now price fell back into that range. So my analysis from last week remains the same. I see a zone where we can put in a trend line around here. All right, so we want to watch around this zone. So for a buying scenario, I'd like to see price probably come into this zone, then give a rejection above, breaking above this region here. All right, then I'll be waiting for some pullback before we now catch another move to the upside. Now this is my bullish scenario. Then my bearish scenario will be for price to break below the 103.737 and 103.656 area, right? So I would like to see price break below it and close below it like this. Then I'll want to see a retest, then to catch a trade from this retest all the way down to this demand zone right here, which is around 103.005. All right, before we probably see the next push up. Okay, so next week, this is my bullish and bearish scenario on DXY. Now that we've seen what is happening on the dollar index, let's look at Euro USD. So Euro USD is pretty much the same with last week's analysis. All right, let me delete this head and shoulders, blah, blah, blah. From there, let me delete all of this. So price was trading around here last week, right? And I was like, for me to buy, I'd like to see price break above this gray zone, which is around 1.08524 area, right? I'd like to see a clean break above it, a retest, then another next wave move up. All right, something like this. A break above, a retest, then another push to the top here. All right, so that was my bullish bias, and my bearish bias was for price to break below this 1.0956 area. So break below it, close below it, come back for a retest before we push lower. Remember, I also said something. This is just an analysis. This is just my long-term bias. All right. Of course, I have a strategy that within this range, I was even able to place trades. Of course, I lost some of those trades last week, but I won most of them. So do I still have the markings here? Yep. I held one overnight, which was this, right? So I sold from here, held it overnight. Then another trade happened around here, which was on Monday. Okay, I didn't get into this trade. I actually entered the buy limit order, which didn't play out. I sent that out on the Telegram group, right? So I caught a trade here, which was a winner. I caught another trade here, which was a winner. Those were the two trades I placed last week. Okay, so let's forget about my trades, but you get the point. Let's go back to the 4-hour time frame. So, yep, I'd like to see a buy scenario should price break above this gray zone to the upside, and a sell scenario should price break below here, then to the downside. Now, let's go look at Gbpusd. Gbpusd is still stuck in a nasty range, all right, and I'm going to stick to the daily time frame analysis on this one. So last week my analysis was for price to come for a third touch of this trend line, all right, that also confluences with this green zone here, right? So I'd like to see either a rejection of this trend line or a rejection of this green zone for a solid sell down. But my buy scenario will be for price to break above that trend line and above that green zone, a close above it, then a retest. Now, when that retest is happening, I want to switch over to a lower time frame like the 15 minutes time frame or 30 minutes time frame, catch an earlier entry with a tighter stop loss, and then I'll hold till this next target here, which is 1.30940. So guys, if you want a detailed analysis on this, I did it in last week's video. So basically my analysis from last week remains the same with this week. So you may want to go back to that last week's video to look at the detailed analysis. All right, so this is just a quick recap of what I basically said last week. So that's my buy and sell scenario for Gbpusd. AUD actually played out perfectly based on last week's analysis. Remember, usually I give a buy and sell scenario. Let's go to the 4-hour time frame on this one. So last week price was trading around here. All right, price was trading around here when we did last week's video. So my analysis was for price to create a new higher high, breaking above this high. Then I would like to see a pullback to that region. Then I'll switch over to a much lower time frame. I did a detailed analysis on this last week, right? Then I would like to now buy to the top side here, but my plan B, sorry, that was my plan B. My number one plan, which is my plan A, was for price to break below this zone here, then come back for a retest before we sell to the downside. But of course, price didn't just break and close around here. Price actually made its way to this zone, went back for a retest before giving us the rejection. So it's all about what you are expecting from the market. So once you get what you're expecting from the market, you want to execute. So the bias still remain the same. A break below this green zone, then a retest, and then a sell-off to this zone as our first target, and my overall target being 0.63502, just like I've been saying. All right, so of course money was made to this downside, and I even got screenshots from some members. Congratulations once again on your profit. So going into next week, guys, I'm still going to be thinking in probability. My plan A will be for price to continue lower from this point. All right, that will be my plan A. But first, we need to get a reason to execute, right? So if you want help with how to execute, if you want a checklist to follow before hitting that buy or sell button, we still have space in the Let's Trade Academy. So do yourself a favor, click the link, is in the description of this video down below, and grab any of our mentorship programs to see what I like to see before hitting the buy or sell button. So my plan A is for price to actually continue lower from this point, and my plan B will be for price to break above the 0.65391 area, break above it, close above it, then come back for a retest. Then from this zone, we are looking for an entry to the next target, which is 0.65871. I like to think in probability, so that if plan A doesn't work, I am well prepared for plan B. Now, that's my buying and selling scenario on AUD USD. Next on my list is USD JPY. USD JPY is looking like it's getting exhausted. All right, but I just don't know why. Maybe based on experience, I'm still expecting some kind of manipulation like this. Here's my arrow, some kind of manipulation to this zone, because if I squeeze my chart left, you will discover that that is a strong area, right? Price has rejected that zone significantly to the downside previously, so it looks like a good area for price to actually pull into before the bearish push. All right, but for now I am more bearish minded, so even the bullish push is going to be temporal, right? Because even if you go to the monthly time frame, we are approaching a strong resistance level. But I won't be going to the monthly time frame on this analysis, because I actually have a meeting very, very soon, as at the time of recording this video. So I'm trying to keep this video as short as possible so that I can go to my meeting. So yep, even if we go bullish, then I'm expecting price to bounce off my overall bullish targets, which is 151.409, before we see a sell-off. But what if price doesn't make it to that zone? Then guys, you know how I like to do it. This is plan A. So my plan B will be for price to take out this lows here, which is around 149.169. So I like to see price take out those lows, then come back for a retest. Then this is where I want to catch a sell trade to the next obvious swing points, which is around 146.272. So plan A is for price to push up before the sell-off. Plan B is for price to break below this zone, creating a new lower low, go for a retest before we sell off to 146.272. So those are my buy and sell scenarios on USD JPY. Now let's come to gold. Gold, last week I promised to send the setup to post the setup on the Telegram group. Seeing how it played out now, I'm feeling so bad why I didn't do that, because based on my analysis, I knew the price will most likely, right? Actually, my initial plan was for price to continue lower from this resistance zone. Then when price broke below, when I saw this rejection back up, I refined my trend line to the bottom here, right? So when I noticed this candle break above here, I actually wanted to send out this analysis, but something else took my attention. I didn't even just know why it escaped my mind. So guys, I am so sorry about this. Nice trade. So when I saw this break out of this zone, I wanted to come to the Telegram channel and give this analysis that, okay, look for a retest of this zone, then buy into 2074. But like I said, something else just took my attention and I completely forgot. And I don't trade gold, right? So I didn't even have it opened. I only pull it up during my analysis like today. So I wasn't paying attention, but I felt that pain when I saw that retest, perfect retest. Remember, this zone has been an interesting zone to me previously. So now the price has broken out of that zone, right? Because we have been selling off the zone. Remember when I called the short trade from here to here, and again another short trade from here to this downside? I actually called all these trades. Go look at these dates and go watch the videos of that particular week. You will see that I called those sell trades. Now, when price pulled back into this zone, I also called this move to the upside. And now, automatically, if you've been following my analysis, you should be able to even do this on your own right now. So when price broke above that solid zone that I've been looking at for some time, of course, you should be expecting a pullback, right? Then when the pullback happened, then a buy off to the upside. But guys, I want you to notice something interesting on gold. I'm going to spend maybe a little bit more time on this gold analysis. Now, last month, price closed below that resistance zone. Remember, this is the all-time highs of gold. This area is the all-time highs of gold, at least based on what TradingView is showing to us. This is the all-time high. Price has attempted that area August 2020, then came back to that area March 2022, then 2023 of May, and then December the same 2023. So now price has been choppy around that side, but it looks like we've broken above it. But last month closed below that zone. That's the confusion. I need a monthly candlestick to close above this zone for me to be able to be more confident in this bullish push. However, on the weekly time frame, this is the first time we are seeing a weekly candlestick close above 2074 area of gold. This is the first time. This should mean something. This is buying pressure. This is solid buying pressure. Now I am bullish minded on gold. So now we'll go to the daily time frame on gold. Now on the daily time frame, this is where the analysis kicks in. Now, obviously, we have a new higher high. If you're wondering what I mean, where's my marker? Let me pull up my marker and circle this region. Here was the previous low, right? And here, these areas were the previous highs, as you can see. Now, price pushed all the way to the upside, creating this new high here, which is obviously higher than these previous higher highs. All right, so let me delete the markers. So what should I be expecting next? If price fails to continue pushing higher next week, and let's say we see an initial pullback, then I'll be expecting the pullback into these areas of 2052. All right, so when price comes into 2052 area, I'm going to switch over to the lower time frame and look for buying opportunities. So plan A is for buying opportunities, at least maybe into these highs here of this highs here of 2144. Let me even put a line there so that we can all follow. All right, 2144 or 43 areas. So if I catch an entry, where's my marker? If I catch an entry, should price pull back into here, then here is going to be my next target. All right, so next week I would like to see a sell to buy scenario on gold, right? A pullback into 2057.52 area before we buy off. But if this is a whole new level of manipulation and price is going to fall back to being bearish, then I'd like to see price break below this area here, which is the 2050 area. So I would like to see price close back below that area. Then I want to wait for a pullback of that area, then to now catch a trade back into 1980. All right, so that is my bias. Now, when all these breakouts are happening and you are waiting for the pullback, when the pullback is happening, you want to go to these lower time frames to capitalize on these moves based on your entry strategy. So there you have it, guys, the analysis for the incoming week. So if you've made it to the end of this video, I want to appreciate you, and if you are yet to smash the subscribe button, now is the time to do so. Please make sure you also like this video and leave a comment if you choose to, and also share this video if you choose to, but make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't. And if you want to know how to do all this analysis and also execution, because analysis is one thing, execution is another ball game entirely. So if you want to learn how to do analysis properly, and let's say you want to master execution and psychology and all of those good stuff that makes up a profitable trader, hit the link in the description of this video down below, letstrade10x.com, to purchase any of our mentorship programs and take your trading to the next level. Once again, thanks for making it to the end of this video. I wish you a successful trading week ahead, and be careful with fundamentals next week, because I'll be expecting a very, very volatile market. And once again, wishing you a successful trading week. I'll see you